Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, the Casual Sim Racers League heads to the Temple of Speed. That's right, we're at the Autodromo Nazionale Monza, and it is ready for round number 10 here, the penultimate round of the season. And we're going to see possibly two of the champions kind of officially get crowned here tonight. I know the final race of the season next week is 2 hours for the finale. It is triple points, but our championship leaders right now have a pretty comfortable lead. As you take a look at it here real quick, you got Greg Jancic with a nice sizable 25-point lead over Chris Hamilton, and then Anthony Hutchinson in the AM class has got a pretty nice 28-point lead over there as well. So barring some big mistakes here in these last couple races, I think it's pretty clear who our championship favorites are going to be, but still going to race the races, still going to finish this thing out. And we're at a track here that, I mean, you look down there at the old oval section of this track. This track has gone through so many different changes. Built back in the 1920s. It's had about 16 different variations of the track. The first iteration running around the road circuit and the oval combined as one whole 6.2 mile track before they basically let the oval stay there, but they didn't work on it. They didn't use it. They don't do anything with it anymore other than virtually here. Sometimes we have some fun events on the big old banking there of the Monza Oval. But tonight we're on the road course, 3.6 miles. Certainly some very famous corners. The Prima Variante chicane, Seconda Variante. You got the two Lesmo corners. You got Variante Ascari, and then they got the Parabolica. It doesn't seem like that much, and that's why there's so much speed here tonight. But it's going to be a good one as we got a good size field out here. Once again, going to throw it over to my co-host, Jimmy, as once again, you got Carl and Jimmy up here in the booth in the CRN booth. Jimmy, we are at a very famous track here at Monza. It looks like qualifying is done, but why don't you give us your thoughts on Monza here real quick?
Yeah, my thought on Monza's... Hey, Monza's it's just a track that, for some reason, I can't get the knack of the exits corrected and stuff like that. So it's definitely a challenging. It's all about being able to get into the corner and exit with a good amount of speed, because you have some pretty long straightaways. Obviously, some technical corners that the driver's going to have to deal with, but it should be a great race in here tonight. All the drivers are real respectable, and I think it's going to wind up being a pretty good run here. I think who can save tires and maybe a little bit of fuel might benefit to their abilities, because there's a lot of room to save fuel on this flat track, as there's no altitude changes.
We are getting ready to set this thing off, and it is going to be a nice size field here once again. I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. But we are ready to get this thing underway. They are under the pace laps. Just trying to get everything up and working as usual. Just some issues here and there for our our SDK partners here. But on the track, it is going to be Greg Jancic on the pole for tonight, alongside Siviani Madrigal, Herbert Pineda, newcomer Robin Falvey, going to be in the top 4 spots. Then you got Frank Pisano, Bryce Reiner, Leo Gausha, Chris Hamilton, Billy Wright, Cesar Clone Torres for your top 10. Then you got Dan Morera, Jim Dutton, Brandon Potts, Glenn Lazan, Trent Blaylock, Rich Petrucco, Christian Ortiz Torres, Braxton Jarrett, Jason Potts, John Espada for your top 20, Wayne Burrell, Jay Little, Ian Wilson, Stephen Price, Stephen McLean, Paul Bailey, Tyler Torvell, all in the field ready to go. But one that's definitely ready to go is Barney Not that one. It's the one that down a little bit further. There's another Barney. There's two Barneys here tonight, but we are ready and racing, and already some major moves. It looks like we got 3, 4, 5 wide, maybe down the front stretch, and already some big calamity as we got cars sideways. 3, 4 cars getting involved. Looks like Hamilton is one of them that's involved. And this is not exactly the start we wanted to see. Christian Ortiz-Torres involved in this one. It's like Frank Pisano, Bryce Reiner, Herbert Pineda. A lot of cars tangled up in this one. As that was... we see that in turn 1 sometimes, but not in the straightaway.
It was nothing but a maybe last season, Carl. When they were here, the same thing happened.
Try and take a look back and see what may have kind of started this thing. And I mean, you see just so many cars going for it, and looks like contact there between 99 and possibly the 4 there as well, cutting across the entire field. See right there, the 64 getting into it as well, but I mean, it's pretty much just across the entire track. You see from the chopper view right there, so many cars involved in this one right from the start of it.
Yeah, not what these drivers wanted to see for sure.
Not at all, and I'm sure a lot of drivers are going to be coming into the pits, get some fast repairs if they can even limp back to the pits. I mean, we've seen it, you know, several times here at Monza with everybody trying to go for it into turn number 1, but very seldom does it happen before we even get to turn 1. I mean, that was on the straightaway there and just too many cars wide. I mean, you know, it's 3, 4, 5 wide. You can fit them there, but the grass does come up at the end of the pit exit there, and you got to kind of funnel your way back in, and they didn't funnel too well. But out front, it is Craig Jansick leading the way. Newcomer Robert Falvey now finds himself in second. Billy Wright in third, as the two Brits are right there in second and third. Leo Gausha, Cesar Colon-Torres for your top 5. Then you got Reiner, Herrera, Dutton, Lazan, and Blaylock for your top 10. Blaylock, another newcomer here tonight. So 2 newcomers up here in the top 10, but more importantly, they kind of survived the first lap there. I mean, you got Chris Hamilton. Now looks like he's not leaving still out there. You see major damage to the front of that motorcraft Ford. Frank Pisano in the pits, Simeone Madrigal in the pits, Herbert Pineda still in the pits as well. Not sure if they had to tow back to pit lane or not, but not a good quality start from these drivers right here. But either way, we are off and running here for 45 minutes. And again, this is round number 10 of 11, second last race of the season. And we'll take a look at some of these battles out here on the track.
Yeah, just seeing Christian Ortiz-Torres fighting it. I don't know if it's just an off track or whatever, but definitely a lot of calamity here coming down into turn 1. Everybody pushing it as hard as they can and just getting out there. See what they just enough to almost to stop, so he didn't get into the other driver, but
go there.
Yeah, so definitely a rough run there for some of these drivers.
Yeah, kind of almost leaving us a little speechless. It's not something that we typically see here at CSRL, that big of an accident at the start of the race, but when it happens at the front and you're you know, at full throttle on the start of the race, it's kind of tough to all of a sudden jam on the brakes, and when you do, you got to make sure the people behind you are doing so as well. But we are off and running here, and taking a look at the battle at the back half of the top 10. We can see Rich Petrucco back out there. He's up to 11th right now after starting back there in 15th, but we can see him back out there in the good-looking McLaren paint scheme. Up at the front of the M-Class field, it is Cesar Colon-Torres, and it's worth noting our points leader, Anthony Hutchinson, not in attendance here tonight. So if Cesar Colon-Torres can keep up his nice little streak that he's got going here, maybe grab another win here tonight, could get very interesting yet in the M-Class, especially with triple points on the line in the final race of the season. I don't know. We may have a battle yet on our hands, but at the front of the field, Craig Jansick still leads the way, but Falvey not letting him go at all.
No, I don't think obviously Falvey new, but might be another contender here. Has been alerted that he's going in the pro division, so could be another contender for Jancic, Christopher Hamilton, and Rainey.
As it stands right now, we still have 23 cars out there on the track running. We got a couple cars towards the back that are just kind of maybe now finally getting their repairs done. Looks like Hamilton finally got the front end back on that Ford. Frank Misano looks like he's back all repaired and back out there. Robert Pineda back out on the track. Silviani Madrigal maybe the only one that is not going to be coming back, and it looks like Brandon Potts coming in early here. Not sure if this is an unscheduled pit stop or maybe just coming in for an early pit stop. I don't see any kind of damage to that Acura, and I don't see that he had any kind of issues. You did see right front damage?
Yep, it just popped out and took a fast repair.
Okay. That'll do it. So
looked like he's taking second tires too. Kind of surprised as
we're all coming in there as well.
Yeah, he had damage too.
I mean, it's one thing that's not. I mean, certainly you don't want to have to use a fast repair that early that you made a mistake, or maybe somebody else made a mistake in front of you. But with the way these guys have it set up for the fuel wise, we've talked about it so many times. You can come in on lap number 1 and ultimately fill up your tank enough to get you all the way to the end. So you need one pit stop, but you only need one pit stop. So you can take it kind of whenever you want, and it gives these drivers that maybe have an issue on lap 1 or in the first couple of laps to not really feel like they're out of the race. And we've seen it before. We've seen guys all the way at the back of the pack in the 20s. All of a sudden, by the end of the race, they're up there in the top 10 or even top 5 because they were able to get out there and get some clean air and really put down some heaters and work back up through. But battle into Parabolica here as Leo Gausha there on the outside in the Ferrari, but Bryce Reiner trying to get that Ford to the inside to stick, and looks like he's got enough of a drive to stay alongside of him down the front stretch as they'll head across the line one more time. The time kind of flies by here at Monza because you're watching so much speed, and a lot of times there is some pretty good battles out here. It really closes up here when it comes to the chicanes as they head into Prima Varianti, the first chicane here on the track. Really tight entry, and I mean, you can fit 2 cars wide there, but you're both really, really slow exiting if you do.
Yeah, it's the chance you take. It's one of the spots you can pass, and going into any of the chicanes really, unless you get a great exit. So like I talked about having that perfect exit for that speed. I know the second chicane is usually where I catch a lot of people being able to execute that chicane fairly well, and then you get that double right. So it's just being able to get that good run and then a run down here to the final corners.
And now down into Ascari as is a fast little S section of the track. You gotta avoid those big old sausage curbs on the inside of all these corners. You can maybe clip the last one there on the exit a little bit, but you catch that thing the wrong way, and it's almost kind of like turn 5 at Road Atlanta. It's going to throw you off one way or the other, off on the exit to the right into the barrier. It'll have you spinning and probably getting the barrier off to the left. Either way, it's not really worth the risk for the little bit of reward that you get as Bryce Reiner coming into the pits. And I don't know if Cesar Colon Torres realized that, but he had to make a big evasive maneuver right there. And now he's got Dan Marrero right behind him. Looked like Marrero was going to tuck him, but now just peeking out here a little bit. Not going to make a move into turn number 1, as they're not battling for position in class, but certainly on track there as Colon Torres still holding down the top spot in the M class in 5th place. Jim Dutton not too far behind. Right behind this little battle right here, he's in 2nd in class. Len Lazan back a little bit further, but Ford for the top 3 here and at the M class, and a Ford leading the Pro class right now. As looked like Jansen was going to stretch out here a little bit. He's out to just over a second right now, but Falvey not falling off too quickly here, doing a good job here in second. It's got another 2.7 seconds back to Billy Wright here in the 3rd place. Looks like Brits out here as teammates as well with the paint schemes. Leo Gausha in 4th place, as we got 3 Ferraris right in a row here, and it's fitting. I mean, you need to have some Ferraris here at Monza.
You would think. I mean, each track or country, if you run that brand car, it's usually a pretty decent bet. Now, I did run the Ford here in testing just a little bit right before the race, and man, can that thing eat some corners. Like, those big sausage corners, it's like they're not even there. It really just rolls over them.
It's got all that American muscle in there. Just smacks those sausages like it's not even there. Yeah, that's one thing that I feel like. That's one thing I feel like, you know, some of these smaller cars like the Ferrari. I mean, there are tracks that for some reason the Ferrari can take the curbs better than other cars as well, maybe because it just kind of sits up there a little bit more. I don't feel like here is one of those places that I feel like it can get a real rough ride through the curbs. But a heck of a battle here with Tyler Torville, who starts shotgun on the field and trying to work his way up through right now. Look at the inside here of Espada. Not going to happen right now, as Espada once again out there in the lone BMW. Looks like he's got a new paint scheme on that thing now. It's not the factory BMW. You got a Jack Daniel's sponsorship, and not a bad sponsorship to have there. And it's certainly I'm sure it will help with the celebrating if you can get it up there far enough in the running. But Tyler Torville doing a good job, made his way through the early calamity, up 14 spots right now. So literally up through half the field so far, and now trying to make his way to the inside, this time into 2 Lesmo corners, and it looks like he's going to make that pass, move it up into 12th.
Yeah, another great spot to make a pass. You get that inside, and the other driver, if they don't let off, they end up in the kitty litter, and then they're going to lose more than one position. So, you know, good for them, just kind of let the pass happen. It's their battle's not with them. So, just gotta let them go and keep going, and then keep the rest of the drivers behind you.
We are already getting close to a third of the way through this race. I mean, again, it just, for some reason, always just flies by here at the tempo speed here at Monza. But out front, it is Craig Jancic, the lead, not out to a second anymore, as, again, Falvey, newcomer, really showing his muscle here tonight and keeping with Jancic. It is 7/10 of a second right now, and you wonder how much Jancic is kind of just, you know, riding his race right now, and kind of controlling the pace, controlling those tires and fuel. But either way, he's got the lead here from the start. Another pole position for him, looking to close out the championship here tonight. And I think with his finish here, if he can finish it up front, and Chris Hamilton obviously having the early lap 1 issues, and now is buried back in the field. He's back there in 23rd. Already made his pit stop. He's already done and dusted. So now it's just how far can he drive up through the field, as he's right behind that Brandon Potts, another car that made his way into the pits. As now Jay Little's going to drop in there as well. So a few takers into the pits from really it's just some early damage, but it's been clean since the start of that race. Some guys going off track here and there, but yeah, not too many big accidents, and I don't think you're going to see anything as big as we've seen here at the start.
You know, it's something that big in real life might stem to a real life caution at full track, but in iRacing, obviously they're stuck there local, and you know, they keep things going here. That's why these 45-minute races are action-packed, and they're usually full. And then when they get spread out just a little bit, you know, it takes a little while for them to close in to each other. So, but a couple battles here in the track, obviously. 56, obviously, really close. Back there in 13th, 14th, 15th, and it's definitely a lot of close racing. And I'm sure fuel is on the mind. Tires. Should I take a tire? Should I take 2 tires? It was it's all kinds of options. So it just really depends on how hard you beat these that front left.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen 2 left side tires play out nicely for some drivers at this track, depending on what car they're taking, because a lot of the high speed here, obviously the Parabolica, kind of one of the biggest corners that you need to carry a ton of speed through, because it's going to send you off into that front stretch. So, you know, the left side tires certainly will help you out through that if you want to take some new ones on your pit stop. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like, you know, between the two hairpin, or the two kind of bus stops here, the 2 Variantes, it can get a little sketchy if you just take 2 tires. So, I mean, we've heard multiple times where drivers are taking, you know, 2 fronts or, you know, 2 rears because they feel like the car's stepping on them a little bit. It's something that you see here in the you know, the GT series, especially one that's you know, a shorter series like this, 45 minutes, where you can take fronts or rears instead of lefts or rights. It's not something you're going to see in, you know, a typical oval series like you see on you know, the Core Xfinity series on Tuesday nights, or the Virtual Velocity Racing on Thursdays, because they're jacking up one side of the car or the other. But here in you know, GT type of racing, the whole car gets jacked up at once. So you have all 4 tires in the air. The crew can go work on whatever tires you want. So it gives you some different options to play with.
Yeah, it does take a little bit longer than in NASCAR to change 4 tires, all these GT cars for some reason, but I don't think in real life they have advanced to just that single nut like in the next gen, but definitely ooh, tag there.
And Torgo looking to get that position right back here, battling here with Espada for 12th and 13th, and he's going to go around the outside here. And it looks like he is going to get it done heading into the Seconda Variante and going to get that position. It's kind of fun just hanging out in Italy for these past 2 races. I mean, 2 very different tracks here between Monza and then last week Imola. I mean, Imola certainly has some high-speed sections, obviously from the exit of the last corner all the way down to the first chicane there. A little easier chicane at Imola for your first one, but big old sausage curbs there as well that you gotta avoid. And then you know, it's kind of funny how both of these tracks here in Italy start off with a nice long run to a chicane, and then a little bit of a straightaway, and then another chicane before you head into to the hairpin there at Imola. But I mean, just 2 tracks that drive completely differently. You got a lot of elevation change at Imola, especially when you're going down through Acqua Minerale. Here at Monza, it's pretty flat. There's not that much elevation that you really have to worry about. It's really just carrying speed. It is all about speed. It's why they call it the temple of speed. You need to carry so much speed around here, and you always need to be thinking about how can I maximize my exits of these corners to get down through these straightaways, and even through you know, some of the turns as fast as possible. A lot of times when we're talking about backing up the corner or rolling through the corner, or you know, working on, you know, braking a little bit early so you can get a better exit. But here at Monza, especially through the Ascari and through the Parabolica, you're looking at trying to maintain speed through the corners. And I think that's why maybe we don't see too many Porsches out there in the field here, Jimmy. With all these back and forths here at Monza, looks like our highest running Porsche right now is Trent Blaylock in 10th.
Yeah, it's we all know that the Porsche has its problems, and that shifting back and forth really quick usually doesn't, you know, pay out big here. It's good in the corners, just not the immediate like left right or right left. So just definitely something that somebody needs a lot of experience with, I think, to handle things like that at a consistent basis that requires to get around here. I mean, these drivers are running 148 fours up front, and then 149 fours, just a few cars back, and then towards the middle of the pack around 150. So when I was out there just doing some practice laps, I was, obviously full fuel and running around, running 149.5s. So obviously patience plays a big virtue here. Being able to pick and move your pass, knowing who you're racing, and if you need to push. So Colin's up there, and Cesar Torres up there in 6th, and he's leading the ZAM class. So as bad as he wants to get around the 2 drivers in front of him, should he make that call and try to get around him, or are they holding him up? You have Jim Dutton right behind him, and then Glenn Lazon again, in the same running order as last week. So they got to be careful because they're so close together, but they don't want to fight a pro guy, aka their division, and then ruin the race. So right here, Glenn Lazon getting some pressure by Petrucco, and if I was Lazon and Petrucco poked his nose deep inside, I just let him go, because if I wreck, next thing I know, I'm back. I'm out of that podium position for the AM.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, it gives you the opportunity to get behind him, learn his lines a little bit, learn where he is faster. I mean, he's in the pro division for a reason, so he gets to kind of go to school a little bit. But you also get the opportunity to draft, and you get the opportunity to save a little bit of fuel, save a little bit of tire. And you see right there, Lazon let Petrucco go on the front stretch, and he's going to tuck back in and hope to stay on his back bumper as long as possible to utilize that draft, utilize that fuel saving, as Petrucco makes a pass for 8th place. So right now, your top 10 is Jancic in the lead, but still only just half a second between him and Falvey. Billy Wright in 3rd, Leo Gausha, Dan Marrero for your top 5. And then Cesar Torres, Jim Dutton, Rich Petrucco, Len Lazan, Christian Ortiz, Torres for your top 10. Could be getting close to some pit stops here. We are at the halfway point of the race. We've seen maybe about a third of the field in so far, but unfortunately a lot of them in the pits because of the opening incidents. And if you're just joining us, we'll take a look back and show you what took place here at the start. You see just mass chaos at the front, 3, 4, 5 wide, and it ends up being 3, 4, 5 cars into the wall and into the grass, and some hard impact for some of the drivers that forced them into the pits early to take some repairs. But it's left us with the running order that we have right now, and keep an eye on them to see when they decide to come into the pits, see how far these drivers that did pit those early laps, where they're going to come out, as looks like a little bit of a fake out there from Jancic. See if maybe Falvey was planning on going in or not, but they're both going to stay out another lap. Billy Wright is going to pit from 3rd place, and then Dan Marrero going to pit from 5th as well. So it's going to move Cesar Torres and Jim Dutton up to the top 5 for the time being. Taking a look back at Chris Hamilton involved in that early incident. 2nd place in the points coming in, but he needed some major things to go his way. Kind of like what happened earlier in the season at Sebring, but unfortunately he was the one wrecked in the first lap incident here, and he's left trying to fight his way back to at least get a respectable position, but currently back in 19th position. Of all the drivers that have come into the pits, though, he is actually running in 3rd, still behind Brandon Potts and Bryce Reiner also pitting early, but now some of the other guys that were at the front, Billy Wright and Dan Marrero, also coming out in front of him as well. So he's still got some work to do, still got plenty of time, still got half a race left, but it is, I'm sure, not a happy cockpit there inside the 64.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I know they can put a full tank in, but I don't know if like just one lap is enough to say I'm good with fuel here without saving. This track, you're on the throttle a lot, and if that's the case, you could find maybe some of those drivers that had to come in actually have to come in and just get a splash. So we'll see how that kind of works out. Hopefully it's not the case, but Jancic and Falvey come down into the pits here at 25 minutes. So 20 minutes remaining. Definitely filling up will give them enough time to get back out there. We'll see who has the better pit stop and if they're using fuel calculators.
And hopefully for Hamilton's sake, the calculator is calculating correctly. I mean, he's had some issues with fuel before, and really that's the question. I mean, it's so tough when you're pitting that early to even figure out how much fuel you can take. I mean, I know they can take a full tank, but if you don't need to take a full tank, you don't want to take a full tank. You want to keep that car as light as possible to put off the best speeds. And you see right here, big difference in the pit stops. Craig Jancic's pit stop, 15.8 seconds, and Robin Falvey, 18.57. It's given Craig a 4-second lead. So Falvey's gonna have to go to work here and try and catch back up to Jancic, or maybe did Jancic take enough? Is really the question.
Yeah, I mean, Craig's been running all season. Really haven't seen him run out of fuel. So I'm going to say he's probably good to go. And if Falvey, just being new to the series, maybe he didn't quite know the fuel calculations needed and just put in a little bit extra, and just a gallon more is going to cost you a couple seconds. So definitely a tough one to kind of swallow, but Falvey doing a good job, and obviously if he has the speed, hopefully he'll be able to catch up. Jancic has no draft to help him. Falvey can get into that area, but if his tires are gone, he might have troubles.
Well, it comes down to, we talked about calculators too. It's tough calculating how much fuel you need in these endurance races because there's no set lap. There's not a situation where you can say, okay, well, it's lap 15 right now. I need another 10 laps to get to the end because it's a 25-lap race. It's time. And depending on when that timer comes down at the end of this race, it can mean the difference between the race being a, for instance, 25-lap race or 26-lap race. And that one lap of difference, if you don't have that in your fuel tank, you ain't going to make it around. And it's that simple. And you kind of always need to keep an eye on that. If you decided to only take 25 laps of fuel, I'm not saying it's going to be 25 here tonight, but just throwing those numbers out there. If you only decided to take that much fuel to get you to the end, and all of a sudden it starts getting a little closer, and you realize we're going to go an extra lap here, you need to back off, and you need to back off quickly. And maybe that's where Falvey, maybe his calculator decided that this is going to be a lap longer than what Jancic's calculator decided, and Jancic can't run faster to ensure that it's going to be his amount of laps, because if he's running faster, if he's using more fuel, he can burn off a little too much, and then if it doesn't go that distance, I mean, it's just there's so much going on. It's not just getting in the car and making some lefts and some rights. It's a mind game, and it's why when it comes to these endurance events that myself, Jimmy, and a lot of these drivers out there do, it's so nice having teammates that are not in the car. They can run some calculations, they can try and figure some things out, they can decide how much fuel you're putting in, or they can set your car up to take tires, or anything else that you need to have done. It's one less thing you need to think about in the car, because it's always thinking. You're always thinking about hitting your marks and hitting your braking points and hitting your turn-ins and trying to get as much speed as possible, but while trying to keep all four tires pointed the right way and not lose any time by scrubbing speed, and certainly not losing the car into the barriers as well. That you don't want to have to think about, do I have enough fuel? Do I need to save a little bit here? You need your team saying, hey, back it down a little bit. We need to save a little bit of fuel. We need to save a half a lap. Whatever it is. That's something that they can do for you, and you don't have to think about it. It's so nice when it comes to that. But unfortunately, for a lot of these league races, you don't have teammates that are in your ear. They're out there racing with you because they want to be out there in the race.
Yeah, and then they rely on all these overlays that these independent parties have created, and a lot of them have done a pretty good job being able to figure that math out for you. You just have to use it and be comfortable with it, and you don't have somebody sit there with a calculator and watching how much fuel is being burnt and all that fun stuff. So definitely can be challenging. We can see here Billy right up in that back bumper of Barrera. So maybe thinking about their fuel strategy here soon. Or unless they already came in.
Yeah, everybody has already made their pit stop here for the night. As we've got about 15 minutes, actually 14 minutes left in this race. Again, the penultimate round here tonight at Monza. Next week is going to be our season finale. It is going to be 2 hours long, and it's going to decide the standings one way or another, as we're going to head to the beautiful Motorsports. We're going to go from a couple races here in Italy and head north of the border up to Canada for the Canadian Tire racetrack up there, and that is certainly we'll talk about some undulations and some changes in altitude. You got them, especially just right through the first sector, up and over, down through turn number 2. It can really throw you off, and then down into the real tough double right-hander there. You're carrying a lot of speed going in. You got to get it loaded up while keeping it straight, rotate through there, and then even the long backstretch. So it'll be a fun one, especially for 2 hours. And we'll see if we have at least maybe the AM class to battle for. Again, I feel like with the run here tonight, unless something happens to Jancic, I feel like he's got this Pro Championship in the bag here for yet another season. A valiant effort from Hamilton, but a missed race or two, and a couple rough races like this one here tonight, as he's back there in 12th place, just outside the top 10, and looks like he's about 9 seconds off the top 10 right now, but more importantly, just back too far when you got Craig Jancic out there in the lead to mount any kind of charge points-wise. But again, in the AM class, it's anything but over. Anthony Hutchinson not here tonight. Cesar Torres is, but he is not the leader anymore in the AM class. It is Jim Dutton who has made the pass, and I believe it was all done through the pit stops here, trying to see if there was a pass made on track. But either way, it is Jim Dutton now leading the AM class. Cesar Torres not too far behind him in 7th and 8th overall.
Yeah, so this is going to be a battle to the end between these drivers. We've seen the battle in the grid finish last week from the AM class as they ran nose to tail right to the end. So it looks like Reiner there making a move on Falvey.
Into the inside here. This is on Billy Wright, is Falvey's teammate. As Reiner's going to move himself up into the top 5, kind of muscles his way in the inside there at the Parabolica. Good move there at Ford versus Ferrari. Here, I mean, we're not at Le Mans, but it looks like Ferrari trying to get back here, as Billy Wright's got a good run down the front stretch, tucking in behind, but looks like he may stay right behind Bryce Reiner, heading off into turn number 1, right behind him. Just throw a tow rope out there, let him tow you through the corner if you'd like. But Jim Dutton getting a good full view of that in front of him, but he's got to worry about that full view in his mirror right behind, as Torres is reeled in number 83, and we're going to have a battle on our hands for the top spot in the M class.
Yeah, it's going to be another battle to the end here. We've got about a little over 10 minutes, so we're looking at probably 11 laps or so, maybe 12 to go. Definitely going to be an interesting one here as we're winding down, and Jancic out front by a nice lead. Falvey, Guccia, Herrera, Reiner for your top 5, and then Wright, Dutton, Cone, Patrico, Bazan for your top 10. Torres, Hamilton, Potts, Torville, Espada, Jarrett, Black, Potts, Wilson, McLean for your top 20. And then you got Stephen Price, Jay Little, William Burrell, Paul Bailey, Herbert Pineda, Frank Pisano, and Sabani Madrigal back there. And looks like, I don't know if they called it a line out, but no, they're still out there, I think.
And down into the Parabolica. Caesar Clone Torres looked for a second to the inside, and it may have gotten Dutton just a little worried. He goes a little wide through the Parabolica. It's going to give an opportunity down the front stretch here for Clone Torres to try and make a move.
Come inside.
And Dutton kind of driving right down the middle. Nope. Big move there. Now heading down into the braking zone. And very brave on the brakes is Caesar Clone Torres. Going to make that pass, so back up into the top spot here in the AM class, 7th place overall. Up at the front, it has not gotten any smaller. Jancic now stretching it out to a 6-second lead over Falvey. So Falvey looks like, yeah, he's kind of lost any kind of muster. He's lost his chance by tucking in behind him. Leo Gausha in 3rd place, but not by much. Dan Herrera still right there behind him, as this is 3rd and 4th in the pro and overall. Bryce Reiner now looks like he's going to have a little bit of a better chance to drive away, as Billy Wright going off into the kitty litter there a little bit. So
he did a little kitty hop.
Yeah, exactly. It's Reiner's going to try and set his sails now and get up there to Herrera and Gausha, see if he can get himself a podium yet before this one is over. Again, Caesar Clone Torres leading in the AM class, but you see Jim Dutton right there, not willing to just walk away, as this is your top 2. You got another about 7-8 seconds back to Len Lazan in 3rd place here in the AM class. But again, Ford's dominating here in the AM class. The top 3 spots here are all in Fords. Chris Hamilton still trying to make his way back up in the Ford, as he is in 12th place. You see in front of him is Christian Ortiz Torres, top running Porsche car out here, and certainly Torres, Christian Ortiz Torres, it is well known for riding in the Porsche. It is going to be his favorite car, and one that he's got enough understanding that he can get it just outside the top 10 right now. He's got Bazan in sights. We'll see if he can reel him in, as he started back there in 17th position and up to 11th right now. So good run for the number 11 here tonight.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, obviously, with a few of his competitors, getting knocked out, that definitely helps with a better finish. But yeah, definitely not too bad of a run here for a Porsche.
We are down to the last 7 minutes left in this race, plus a lap, as 38 minutes have come in, or 37 minutes have come. We're in the 38th minute right now. Looks like it's a pretty sizable lead for Jancic at the front, but anything can be said about the running order here for the top spot in the AM class. Clone Torres reeled him in, made the pass, forced the issue, and caused a bit of a wide run out of the Parabolica for Dutton, and took over that spot. But again, he has not run away. There's so many nice little straightaways like this heading down into the Parabolica, and then out of it down the front stretch, where you can get a good draft. And I mean, these Mustangs, big old front end on it. So Caesar Clone Torres right now is pushing a ton of air out front. So Jim Dutton trying to tuck in as much as possible, get as much draft as possible, and it's why he's only 0.3 of a second behind. And we'll see if we have another pass attempt here, as you see Caesar Clone Torres blocking that inside, like Jimmy said last time. Dutton looking to the inside. We'll see if he's brave and late on the brakes. Now he's going to tuck back in into turn number 1, but Caesar Clone Torres makes a mistake, goes through, and that is probably going to be a slowdown. You see him slowing down right there. It's going to cost him a spot here. He's going to tuck in behind Dutton, but he's got to wear off that time penalty. Hopefully it's gone by now and get back in the battle, but that's how quickly it can go awry.
Yeah, just giving Jim space. Probably missed this braking spot just a little bit, so he's gonna have to buckle down and see if he can muster up a little bit of run here, as we got about 5 minutes left.
Losing a bunch of time though, almost out to about a second behind, and you got to keep within a second if you want to keep that draft. A little rough through the Lesmo corners, but it looks like he's still within 9/10 of a second, heading down towards Ascari. Look back at another close battle back here in 15th, 16th, and even 14th. There is Tyler Torville in 14th, John Espada in 15th, and in 16th, looking right there at Braxton Jarrett as another car from the Ace Motorsports here. As you see, you got 3 of them pretty much in line here. Trent Blaylock not too far behind as well, but it's the M-Class Championship leader from their team that is surprisingly not here tonight to hold on to his title. And you wonder how much he is going to lose by not being here tonight, especially with Dylan Torres battling for the lead here once again. And we'll take you back into that battle as it's getting close again down the front stretch and heading down into turn number 1. Torres is going to reel Dunton in here once again, down to about a half a second. A little better exit out of the corner for Dunton. But this thing is anything but over. 4 minutes left in this race. It's anyone's game here. Not for the lead overall, though, as Craig Jancic looking to walk away here with another victory. And, I mean, you can say all you want that this one was maybe gifted to him a little bit with a ton of his competitors getting mixed up in the lap 1 start of the race incident there, but he had to fend off Falvey for quite some time in the first half of this race, all the way up into the pit stop, and then about a 3-second difference in the pit lane is what the difference is right now on the track. It's stretched out to about a 5-second lead right now, but you see Falvey back there in the distance. A good showing for his opening race here in CSRL. Running in second, and once he stays there, we're going to talk to him after the race, see how his maiden race here in the league it went. Leo Gausha doing a great job there in 3rd place as well. Herrera and Wright for your top 5. Then you got Reiner, Dunton, Cesar Colon Torres, Petrucco, and Lazan for your top 10.
Time ticking down here tonight, so opportunities, if you have them, you need to make them. There's one right here. Matter of fact, is Dan Morera looking to get around Gusha.
Morera flying the 40 Racewear flag here tonight, as we don't see the field here. Don't see our fearless leader Jim in the 40 Racewear car, but man, this is a close battle here as Morera trying to hold off Gausha as they're going side by side down into the second chicane. Morera just gonna get a good enough rotation through the opening part of it to hold off the charge from the 666. But this is a heck of a battle right here. Take you back to the battle for the top spot in the M class, and it is not much changed. It is still Jim Dunton in the lead, but not by much over Cesar Colon Torres. But now Rich Petrucco coming up into the mix here as well. Not for position, you know, when it comes to the classes, but I wonder how much this is going to play a part here, as Petrucco didn't get out here that often. So, you know, he's going to want to try and get everything that he can. You know, in regards to the admin battle, you know, Petrucco wants to try and get up there and pass Dunton at some point as well. I mean, let's be honest, but I mean, he's coming up on what's been a battle for quite some time now. We're headed back over here down into Parabolica. Herrera still in front of Gausha, but only just. He'll head off onto the front stretch. We'll take a look and see if the white flag is waving. I don't see it waving just yet, so we're going to have 2 more laps to go here at Monza, unless I'm missing something. We'll turn to look at somebody else going by here. Maybe switch cameras, see if we can see something. No, I don't see Yeah, we are still 2 laps to go here at Monza before we call this one, and now heading down into turn number 1, trying to go around the outside. Colon Torres side by side out of the corner. Dutton's going to get a little bit better drive, so Torres going to have to tuck in behind him. Petrucco all over the backside here, getting up in this mess as well. So 3 cars here, 7th, 8th, and 9th. As Petrucco thought about for a second, now back and forth as these guys dive around each other. Good exit out of the corner from Cesar. Colon Torres going to get to the inside here for the 2 Lesmo corners, and Dutton's going to try and set it around the outside. A valiant effort, but Colon Torres going to get it done now. Maybe Petrucco going to hop in behind and maybe help out his fellow admin here. Why don't you just set it around him and set sail? We'll see what happens. And there you go, Petrucco looking around here, maybe looking to try and figure out what he wants to do. But as it stands, at 007 back to the top spot here. For how long? We are going to have the white flag at this time by as Jancic out of the final corner here, and waiting for maybe this. Maybe there was no white flag. Yeah, this is the finish of the race. So never mind. That is going to be the end here. So heading into the parabolic and the last time. So it ended up being a last lap pass here, as sometimes Barney just falls asleep. Or maybe he forgot his white flag here tonight. It's like he forgot the checkered as well. But either way, seeing the checkered flag at the front of the M class field is going to be Cesar Colon Torres. Heck of an effort there from Jim Dutton. Great run there right behind from Rich Petrucco as well, but he's going to have to settle for a spot behind Jim Dutton. As Glenn Lazan going to bring home his Ford in 3rd place, 10th place overall. Great run from him as well, and good finish from the field after that opening calamity into turn number 1. And, I mean, you hate to see it. You hate to see so many guys get taken out that early. I mean, it happens, and especially when you're here at Monza.
I want to say they did the same thing last year. That was positive.
I feel like something did happen. I think that time somebody may have gotten in the grass off to the left and then get under braking and caused a big calamity that way. This one was just, I think, just too many cars wide.
I'd have to go back and watch all the races.
Well, it's a good thing that they're all here on CRN, and you can take a look at every one of
them. And look them up and rewatch some of these great races.
Absolutely, and enjoy every bit of it. I want to extend a thank you out to everyone tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. I want to thank our series sponsors here tonight, 40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 sim racing shoes, custom engineered to connect the racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, while still providing the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products, including the original racing gloves for your feet. At Simcraft, they create the most, for Martin PC, they are focused on providing high quality PCs, rigs, and components at an affordable price. Your investment in sim racing is exactly the same as racing with an actual car. They take that same methodology at Martin. From the engine PC to the chassis rig, pedals, wheels, and shifter, you deserve components that match your desire to compete. It's about time we talk to our top 3 here tonight for both these classes here, and they put on a great showing for sure in both sides. But we're going to start off with our M class, or our Pro class here first, as it was a heck of a battle all the way to the end in the Pro class as well, but coming home in 3rd place here is going to be the 666. Leo, heck of a battle between you and Dan Morera for most of this race here. You were able to hold them off there at the end as the Ferrari outperformed the McLaren a little bit better than they do in the Formula One side of it for sure. But heck of a run here tonight, getting yourself a 3rd place.
Hey, thanks for having me. It was my first race back in a while. I didn't have my sim rig set up, but finally got everything situated. I was like, you know what, just right on time. Let's hop into the race. Let's have a good time.
Oh, it worked out pretty nicely. I mean, you come away with a nice little podium here. But what was your perspective of the lap one incident there? I mean, certainly a lot of chaos going on. Were you able to avoid it pretty easily? Were you caught kind of right in the mix of it?
Oh no, I was definitely caught in the mix of it. I looked at turn one through my left side window, so it was a little interesting. But somehow I came through unscathed and just kind of put my head down and just look forward.
So talk to me about the battle with Morera. I mean, you guys were going back and forth and shuffling positions 10 different times. And it seemed like Morera may have had a little bit more pace, but as soon as he got by you, you just tucked right in the draft and got right back past him, that lap or the next lap.
Yeah, Dan is a fierce competitor. Just kind of setting everything up for myself, make sure I always have the exit planned, covering my ins, covering my outs, adjusting brake bias on the fly to put a little pressure on the front when I needed it, and just kind of keep my head down and trying to stay calm. And yeah, he puts a lot of pressure on you, but we came away with the win.
Well, that you absolutely did. A good third place finish here tonight, so congrats on the podium. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Shout out to you guys. Thank you for listening to the broadcast. The league put together, everybody, Simcraft for the pedals, really everyone, and I appreciate all of you.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on the podium. We'll let you go celebrate. Maybe we'll see you next week.
Awesome. Thank you.
That is your third place finisher here in the pro class and overall, the 666 of Leo Gausha. Second place, Jimmy is going to be one of our new competitors here tonight, but he put on a heck of a show to come home in second, the 67 of Robin Falvey.
Hey, Robin, it's Jimmy and Carl in the booth. You copy?
Hey, Jimmy, Carl, how's it going?
Hey, pretty good. Nice to meet you. Glad to have you on board here with CSRL. You put up one heck of a battle there, and seemed like your race was kind of determined by your pit stop. So kind of give us a rundown on what happened in the beginning and your pit stop there to kind of sealed your fate.
Yeah, of course. So at the start, I was very lucky I didn't get caught up in the carnage. Luckily, I had a very bad start. So I managed to stay a bit behind and I managed to see what happened and kind of dodge it. So I'm quite thankful for that, really. And going to the pit stop, I couldn't remember the mapping on my steering wheel. I've been off the rig for quite some time for the pit limiter. So I was trying to see which button it was. And then, got down to the pit lane and I overshot the pitman and had to reverse back and I lost 2-3 seconds on Craig. Then after that, I kind of thought I could try catch him, but I kept making a few mistakes and I thought it's better just to manage tires and keep carrying on, just save second place.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to get out of the rig for a while and forget some stuff. But, it's definitely a great showing. There's going to be another competitor out there that can drive up there with Craig Jancic and a few of the others that actually got tangled up there in the beginning. But I think overall you did a great job for your first showing here at CSRL. And again, we want to say welcome aboard. Congratulations on second place and give you some time for any thanks that you might have in that number 67.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just want to say thanks to Billy Wright, my teammate. He invited me to come on tonight and I thought I'd give it a go and I'm quite thankful he did. It's been a mega race and it seems like a mega league and I can't wait to do some more.
It's definitely been an interesting season, and hopefully we'll see you next season along with next week. So, again, congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thank you very much.
That is your second place finisher here in the pro class and overall. The 67 of Robin Falvey. Top spot here tonight, once again, is going to be the 88 of Craig Jansen. Craig, you had a heck of a battle all the way through this thing up into the first pit stop. And then Robin made some mistakes that he was just mentioning in his interview, and it gave you a nice little gap to just kind of run away and hide.
Yeah, run away and hide is what I tried to do. I did go for a fuel save strategy there as soon as I was able to kind of see that I was maintaining at like 7, 8, 9, 10th lead there. I went real heavy fuel save so that I could take a lot less gas. And I know that wasn't part of it. I know he said he slid a little bit too far through the box. I know that's part of it too. But this Mustang was honestly gulping fuel, and trying to save it, I think, is probably what ended up keeping me out of harm's way a little bit. You and I both know that the draft's not strong in the sense of how much pull you get from it, but it is strong in the way that it just kind of keeps people hanging. And I wanted to try to break that for the second half of my race there, and it was pretty successful.
Well, you do exactly what you need to do. You get the win, but you started from the pole, and you had the speed here once again at Monza. Coming down to the end of the season, I know the finish here tonight, and with Chris's issues getting caught up in the lap one melee right there, should set you pretty good, if not automatically kind of lock you into another championship. So, nothing official quite yet, but just do want to say congratulations on what's been another great season for you right now. I know you still got your eyes set on the finale at Mosport, and you guys got a little bit longer of a race. You got a 2-hour season finale up there, and I know the season finale has been a little bit longer. The last couple of seasons you've been running the 2 hours, but this one actually for points, and this one actually for triple points next week.
I can't be more excited for it there. I think that, as long as I've been in this league, which has now been over an entire calendar year, we've not gone to Canadian Tire. I think that that's a really cool thing that we're bringing it in for a 2-hour event to get started. I think that triple points is going to shake things up for like a lot of the field's positions. I think that it's going to make a big difference. I also believe that, I think this does give me a really good shot at having the championship tied up. But I think triple points is 3 races. If I total the car in the first 20 minutes of this thing, I think it's still going to be somewhat close. So definitely going to still have to approach with a lot of intellect at a very high speed, high commitment, low margin for error track. I really can't, you can't really dream up better cinema than that.
Absolutely not. I mean, it's either way. Even if it's not for the championship, I know you guys are going to race hard and put on a heck of a good show. So, congrats again on another win here. One step closer, at least, to another championship. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, huge thanks to you guys at Core Racing Network, Jimmy, Carl, everybody in the background. Really just so ecstatic to carry on this amazing partnership that we have so far. And everything is on our end, pointing all towards having you participate in our season 13 as well. We'll have more to come on that, I'm sure, next week. And it's just an honor to be a part of all of this. Thanks to everybody, league members that show up week to week. Really happy to spend our Wednesday nights with so many great people out here on the track. Shout out to Team Conti Sim Performance, Digital Sim Sports, Studio 3, Martin PC, Mom, Dad, Aunt Sandy, my girlfriend Anna, Chris, if you're watching tonight, shout out to you as always. And we'll bring it out to Canadian Tire with a lot of fun in mind. And honestly, man, I just can't imagine spending my Wednesday night any other place.
Well, same here. We certainly enjoy every minute of covering you guys out here week in and week out, no matter what track you're at. But certainly when you get to go to some newer ones that you guys haven't tackled yet, it makes it fun and it makes it interesting to see who's done their homework. And I'm sure you'll be already cracking open the books on Mosport if you haven't already. So congrats on the win here tonight. We'll see you next week at Mosport. See if you can cap this championship off.
Yes, sir. I've got stock car experience there, but no GT3, so we do have some books to hit.
Completely different.
And yeah, I can't even imagine.
I mean, the track layout stays the same, but the handling is completely different.
A lot of momentum changes there. And by the way, I really hope that lap 1 here tonight doesn't look like lap 1 next week.
Yeah, I think the quick little turn out of the last corner there, it's going to separate guys already. So hopefully there's not a big run in turn number 1 like it was here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But either
That'd be great.
Either way, it's entertaining. It's entertaining for us. I know I know what you guys want to see, but it's entertaining either way. We'll let you go, and we'll see you next week. Yep, we'll see you next week at Mosport. Winner here tonight in the 88 is going to be Craig Jancic. Switch it over now to the AM class and kind of running a race all on his own and maybe a little lonely out there. The 69 of Glenn Lazan.
Hey, Glenn, Jimmy, and Carl up in the booth. Copy.
Hey, guys.
Hey, another week. You find yourself here on the podium with a pretty good, decent finish. I guess the elephant in the room is how was turn 1, lap 1?
It was pretty sketchy. I saw 3 wide and 4 wide at some point, so started letting off, and I hit comms. I told Rich, please don't hit me in the ass, and luckily that didn't happen, and I made it through somehow, and then after that it was just basically hot lapping it. It seemed like I had the one huge save on lap 3, but other than that it was pretty smooth sailing most of the race.
Yeah, I got a chance to get out there on the Ford just a little bit and testing while you guys were practicing, and seemed like a pretty good car of choice as all you AM drivers, the top 3, or that's what you were running. So, you go out there and you try to do your best, and I think tonight was another good showing that you've been putting on all week or all season, obviously, and just good to have you back up here in the booth. So again, from CRN, we wanted to say congratulations on your great finish and give you some time for any shouts on that 69.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll give a shout out to my wife. She brought me Chick-fil-A for dinner, so I think that helped with my third place run tonight. So looking forward to next week's endurance race, so that should be fun. I don't own the track, so I have to buy that, so that'll be an interesting attempt next week, but it should be fun.
Yeah, if you haven't, obviously you say you don't own the track, but a lot of fun, and it sits the GT3 car very well. But definitely take your time and learn that track, because not only for 45 minutes, you guys will be out there for 2 hours. So it's going to be obviously that point where people can start losing focus, definitely over doubling the length of what you guys normally run. So I want to wish you the best of luck, and again, congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
That is your third place finisher here tonight in the AM class and a top 10 overall as well. Great run there for the 69 of Glenn Lazan. Second place here in the AM class is going to be the 83 of Jim Dutton. First, I guess, Jim, we get a copy.
Yes, we do.
All right,
we good?
If we made it back in time, yep, we're good to go. Heck of a battle and heck of a run all race long. I mean, you and Cesar Clone Torres battling, and it looked like he had the better of you heading into the pit stop. You get the edge on him, and then it was just back and forth the entire race. I mean, I know it's stressful. I know it's crazy in the car. What was going through your head that entire race?
Well, he had pace on me for sure. So, and then he would make some mistakes here and there, and I think I was a little bit more consistent than he was as far as that's concerned. And my goal for when I got in front of him was just try and take away the passing lanes from him and try and time everything. And it didn't work out in the end. But yeah, it was a great race. That was some of the best racing that I've had with anybody in this series in a while. Thanks, hats off to him for that. It was respectful and tough. So can't ask for any more than that.
So I know we typically don't see and really wish we would see more drafting in the GT series and these GT3 cars. It's just we want to see drafting actually work and be more prevalent. Typically we don't, but I feel like here tonight you guys were actually getting to experience a little bit of drafting and helping you make some passes here tonight.
So I think it worked for him more than me, quite honestly. But but yeah, it seems to work. Like here in Daytona are kind of the only two places where it can work. Really, that I've noticed. I wish there was more drafting in this car. Like there's got to be in real life. Like they're not a super low downforce car, and if you're punching a hole, then you're going to be making the car lighter on the wheels, and it should just fly forward faster. But anyway, on a side note, I'd like to congratulate everybody that made it to turn 1 for getting through turn 1 today, because that was wild. I'm glad I made it through that, but there was bus stop, or there was traffic stop before the bus stop, or whatever you call that chicane there. It was bad.
Yeah, and it was who can survive, really. I mean, it looked like it was 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 wide going down the front straight, which can happen, and it has happened multiple times at Monza. But it funnels in at the end of that pit lane exit there when the grass starts creeping in there. You have to find a way to come back in, and unfortunately, some guys did come back in pretty quickly and right across the entire field, but you made it through, and you made it into a heck of a battle, and we appreciated every minute of it here, watching you and Caesar Clone Tours go at it for the top spot in the AM class. But either way, I mean, you come home second in class, a top 10 overall as well, coming home in 8th, so good run overall, I would say.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. It was a great race. It was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to next week and next season. So.
All right, absolutely, buddy. Yeah, we got 2 hours next week at Mosport. I guess before we let you go and get out of here, do you have any experience at Mosport in the GT? I know it's kind of a newer race for you guys to head up there to Canada.
I don't. We've raced here maybe once before, but yeah, it's technically my home racetrack, so I should.
Exactly.
I should learn it.
Home field advantage, at least. Yeah, I mean, you should get an automatic pole, or at least pace the field a little bit or something. That's you're the admin. Listen, you're the man behind the curtain here. You can do whatever you want at the end of the day. Just throwing that out there.
If I get pole next week, it's going to look real bad. So,
well, this conversation never happened. We can easily delete this off of the broadcast. This never happened. So either way, enjoy those one here tonight. Great run. And hopefully we get to talk to you again next week. But before we let you go tonight, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Well, first and foremost, as always, you guys for doing this for the league. This is great. I love watching this while doing cardio. And yes, I am doing cardio again. It's good. And the admin who helped me run this, I wouldn't be able to do it without them. And of course, everybody in this league, because I wouldn't be able to do it without them either. Thank you very much for making Wednesdays the best night of the week.
Absolutely. It's certainly a blast for us up here in the booth as well. Congrats again on the run here tonight, coming up one step short, and I'm sure you'll be gunning for that home soil victory next week.
Absolutely. Thanks again.
Second place finisher here in the AM class, and 8th place overall, the 83 of Jim Dutton. Top spot here in the AM class is going to go to the 007 of Caesar Clone Torres.
Hey, Caesar, Jimmy, and Carl in the booth. Copy.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, not bad. Hey, another week, another win. And this week, a little bigger battle between you and Jim Dutton, especially towards the end, just swapping back and forwards, and you get out front, you get a run, you'd make a mistake, he'd get by, and it just kept going back forth over and over again. A lot of it on the screen time for sure here tonight is one of the better battles on the field. But before we get you into how that battling went, obviously the elephant in the room was lap 1, turn 1. How'd you make out? And we'll take it from there and explain your race.
The lap 1, turn 1 incident, it was comedically timed as I was calling it out to some of the guys that were behind me. I was like, hey guys, they're going 3 wide ahead of me, and everything just collided. And as it was happening, I was just literally death gripping the wheel, looking in the rear view, kind of closing one eye, hoping no one slid in front of me and that Jim wouldn't end up in the back of me. And somehow turn one at Monza is always mayhem, but we survived and kind of ran away with it after that.
Yeah, you guys were
for a little bit until Jim started doing what he did in those last few laps.
I mean, maybe down the pit strategy a little bit. So maybe some fine tuning as you guys venture off next week for a 2-hour event out up there in for Canadian Tire. So obviously a lot more focus is going to be needed, and I think your fuel strategies and pit strategies are going to be a bigger part as well. But I have no faith. I have faith that 007 will be up front again, trying to take advantage of that triple points, as without your AM leader being in the field for past 2 weeks, it definitely closes in on the points.
Yeah, it's definitely helping, and it's been very, very fun. Jim made it super hard towards the end of this race. Just talk about that a little bit. I know where I messed up specifically too, is as we were coming into the pits, I saw him come in behind me, and I locked up the brakes. I missed my pit once, overshot it just a little, reversed, still overshot it, reversed again, and then had to get in there. And as soon as I did, I knew I was going to be seconds behind. And as I came out, I saw him, and I had to play the hard charge move, and I knew as I was coming into those last 2 laps, I knew white flag was coming soon, and I tried to play into the draft, because I heard you guys were talking about how draft finally got to come into play for a race in these GT3s, and literally this is one of the only tracks that I feel like that we got some draft. So I got to play out the draft into turn 1 and 2, and made my move through turn 3 and 4 on him, and got him, made him guess a little where I was going, made a middle road move, made him think, and got to slide on by. And it was great racing. I had fun with this. Was a fun race against Jim in this one. We had some tight battling.
Yeah, definitely looked like a lot of fun. And again, I'll say it again, made me jealous. I wanted to be out there.
Come on out, man. The more the merrier.
maybe one day, but right now we're having fun up here in the booth, putting on a great show for everybody. And again, you're doing that for the fans out there, and give you something to go back and watch as you can chill a little bit, as I know you were probably in that seat sweating just a little bit as Jim Dutton was breathing down the back of your neck. So like I said, again, congratulations on the win here tonight, and we'll give you some time for any shouts on that 007.
I just want to say thank you to both of you guys. Thank you to everyone on the broadcast and everyone that's part of this league. It's always fun to race with and against everyone. Sorry to everyone that got caught up in that turn 1 incident, but to everyone that made it through, congrats. It was fun. And just thank you to everyone that's been teaching me how to get better at racing every week, and everyone that's been giving me guides, tips, tricks, and we'll keep doing it this way. Hopefully keep ending up on the pole. So thanks, guys.
It definitely shows. So again, congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thanks, sir.
That is your AM Class winner here tonight, the 007 of Caesar Cologne Tours, bringing home in 7th place overall as well, just barely over Jim Dutton, 0.14 separating the two of them at the line. I want to thank everyone out there once again for tuning in to tonight's penultimate round here for CSRL, as next week again we head to Canadian Tire for the 2-hour triple points season finale, and I think we're going to have an AM Class battle on our hands. Maybe, just maybe, we'll have a Pro Class battle on our hands as well. Hopefully everyone makes it into turn number 1. I mean, typically we're talking about making it through turn number 1. A lot of guys didn't even make it to turn number 1 here tonight, but I'm sure that'll get cleaned up and discussed and fixed for next week. Thank you again for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe. Get in touch with everything that Siren has to offer. But for myself and Jimmy, we finally get to leave Italy and head back to North America. We'll see you at the track.